And we are live. Okay, so today, last live stream on last Thursday, we discussed the 6 stages of film development. And we're transforming that into YouTube development, content for YouTube, but it's the same thing, right? You're making a film, you're making a movie, you're making some content, it's all the same. And we talked about the 6 stages, so let me review that real quick. But before I review that, I just need to double check if everything is going as planned. So let me definitely just double check the link, make sure it is live. Oh, dude, it is live. Yep, we are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are live on LinkedIn. And, and I love it. So the 6 stages of production are your development stage, where you're developing the idea into a script. The pre-production stage, where you're getting everything ready to film, to produce the content. The production phase is when you're producing the content. You're actually filming. You're on set. Lights, camera, action. And then you have the post-production phase, where you are editing your content that you shot. Then you have, after the post-production phase, you have the exhibition phase. Then you have the distribution phase, right? And what we're doing for YouTube is consolidating those 2 phases into really one, where you're well, not really, no, because the exhibition phase is the phase that you're going to schedule it on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all those other social medias, Reddit. Reddit is a great, it's a great distribution channel for your content. And then, of course, the distribution phase is, I would say that's the phase where you're going to push it out, like put it in your newsletter. Yeah, I mean, that's flexible. It's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, where, the pirate code is kind of more like a guideline. So, okay. So today we're going to be discussing the development phase, just the very first phase. we're going to tighten that up. Sorry. We're going to tighten that up and just talk about that instead of go very, very general. We're going to dive deeper into what is the development phase and how can you use it to create content, great content for your YouTube channel to help you grow your business. I mean, that's the main thrust of what I'm doing, is to try to help you grow your business through the use of YouTube content, okay? So let's talk about the development phase. What is it? And if you're out there, if you're watching this live stream, drop me a comment. Let me know. Tell me what you think about the development phase. What is it? What do you think it is? I mean, it's pretty broad. Let's go over what it is in film production. So when you're developing an idea in film production for a movie, like a narrative film, like let's say Ready Player One, or that was a great movie, by the way, Jurassic Park, or 2001 Space Odyssey. When you're developing a film like that, you're going to invest millions and millions and millions of dollars. So your planning has to be really tight. I mean, really awesome, really amazing. Because if you want to make that money back, I mean, what they say, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So your planning is incredibly important. And the development phase for something that massive is extremely important. That's where you're going to get the green light. They call it, has this project been greenlit? If it's not greenlit, then you still have to plan. You still have to develop the idea. So first, you're coming up with the idea. You drop an idea. And what I'd like to do today is kind of maybe show you a little bit of the process that I do for YouTube, okay? You got to come up with that idea. Is that idea viable? Is it going to be good? So why do you think Cinderella has been remade so many times? Cinderella's story. I mean, you've got so many versions of Cinderella because that story is a hit. The chances of you making a second Cinderella and it making money, grossing some good money, is very high. But I remember was it called The Black Hole? I think it was called The Black Hole. I can't remember. It was like the first movie that Disney made that was PG-13, because Disney only made G-rated movies. And then they came out with this very, very first movie. It was PG-13, and I think it flopped. If I remember correctly, it completely flopped. It was a brand new idea. It hadn't been tested and probably not researched enough. I mean, they probably thought it was a great idea. So So how are you going to come up with that idea? You need to come up with an idea. Once you come up with that idea, and we'll go through it in a second. Once you come up with that idea, then you have to develop the script. Write the script. Write it out. No matter what it is, write out the script so that you know what the story is about, because story is king. You have a good story, you're going to have a good product. You're going to have good viewers, good viewership. You're going to have a result, and that result is going to, hopefully for you, is going to turn into clients, customers, someone that's going to pay you money for what you do, right? So the story is the most important thing. Write out that script. Make sure that script, and and that's going to be a future live stream when we talk about the formula for a script. You've got it's like a three stage formula. You got the setup, you got the conflict, and you've got the resolution. That's like the basic storytelling phenomena, right? Structure. And with YouTube, according Daryl Eves is a great YouTuber. He actually puts together Vid Summit every year where amazing YouTubers get together and talk about getting better at YouTube. But he talked in his book, The YouTube Formula. He talks about a little more detail of getting that script written, where he's like, you have the hook. How are you going to hook the viewer into your video, into your content? You hook them. Then from the hook, this is the setup one, this is the setup stage. You have the re-engagement. You have to re-engage them. So you hook them, then you re-engage them, and then you set them up. Like, what is this about? What is this video about? Then you go into re-engagement, and after you go into re-engagement, you go into the climax, right? That's like the resolution. And then bam, it just goes into the finale, right? So you got the hook, the setup, the climax, and then the finale, which is Daryl Eves calls it the goosh moment. Like, you got to give someone something really, really special towards the end so that they stay till the end, because you want people to watch your whole video. You don't want them clicking off, right? They watch the first 10 seconds and they click off, then you didn't have a very good hook. So you have to go back and study, what's that hook? So you're developing that hook within your development phase. Now, one of the differences between YouTube and film production is you're going to do a few more things in the development phase, and you're not going to wait for this till the end, because a lot of people do, right? A lot of people wait until after they produce everything to come up with the title and the thumbnail, right? That's the normal process. That's what people think. But what I want you to do is to make sure you've got the thumbnail and the title and the description done in the development phase. You already know what that's going to be. Okay, that's the first thing you're going to do, because that's important in getting the person to click on your video, right? You scroll through YouTube and you're seeing hundreds of videos, and what am I going to click on? I'm going to click on the thumbnail that attracts my attention the most. So you've got to become a thumbnail master. That's like, you got to spend hours. I mean, I would say, they say if you're going to spend 20 hours editing, you should spend 20 hours on your thumbnail, developing that perfect thumbnail. Come up with 3 variations and test them out, right? YouTube now has like thumbnail A/B testing. So you can upload 3 thumbnails, 3 descriptions, not 3. Is it 3 descriptions? I think it was 3 titles, 3 thumbnails, and you can test them out to see which one works the best for your viewer, right? And remember, you got to know who your viewer is, right? Okay, so let's go back here. You test out, you get the keywords. Oh, you got your idea. And let's say, let's do this real quick. I'm going to share my screen for a second. Let's see if I can do this correctly. We are going to share a new tab. Let's share a new tab with the audio. Boom. So I've got that shared. That's interesting. Let's fix this to where you can see that whole screen. There we go. Boom. I'm there at the bottom of the screen, and you can see my whole screen there. So I want to come up with an idea. I'm going to research the idea. Let's research what's going to be good. So let's go to my YouTube channel. Do you guys know that I have a personal YouTube channel? It's at Eric Calderon. Boom. So if you don't know, yes, I've got my personal YouTube channel where I just have fun creating content. But you know what? And in the past, I wasn't very interested in getting a lot of views. But for you want to make sure it's going to be something clickable. So developing that idea. So I'm going to say, okay, let's see which of my videos were the most popular. Okay, how to access LinkedIn Learning for free, 32,000 views. That's pretty good, right? The three things to expect as a beginner in Aikido, 24,000 views. Nice. I'm 50 years old and I want to start doing martial arts. 10 tips to begin your journey, 11,000 views. So like these three up here are like my top performing videos, three things you can do to improve your Aikido. And so those ideas work. So remember, we're talking about the development phase, and I want to come up with an idea that's going to work and bring in more views. These four videos right here. So what kind of a variation could I do? Now, I have started running again, and like, if we go into let's go into my analytics. Boom, let's go into my give me a second, let me pull the page up, because I want to go into my analytics and see who's my audience, what kind of people are watching my videos. And hopefully your audience on your YouTube channel is the same as your ideal customer, right? If if I don't know, if you're doing retirement planning and 13-year-olds are watching your video, I don't think your videos are actually hitting the right target market for your business. But so let's share this tab here. I'm going to go into my analytics, and we are going to go into my audience, and we're going to see, okay, who's my audience? Here we go. Oh, I've got a very wide range here. I mean, we pretty much 25-year-olds to 65-year-olds, but let's hone in on 45 to 54 as the largest percentage right here. 23%, 23.7% of my viewers are between that age. And I just happen to be 55 years old. So maybe I want to talk to these people right here. And then, as you can see in here, I'm 50 years old and I want to start doing martial arts. Did pretty good, 11,000 views. I did do another 50s. How did that do? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Getting old sucks. Martial arts, the secret weapon against muscle atrophy in your 50s. That only got 1,000 views. I mean, that's, but I'm 50 years almost. So let's do some research here. I'm going to search, and I'm just showing you guys how to do your research to find the good topics. And I'm going to search for, I'm 50 and I want to run a half marathon. Let's see. And then now what you need to do here is filter this out, because what you're looking for is popular ideas. And you can see this has 4,500 views, but I'm not interested in that. What I'm interested to see is filters. We're going to do view count, popularity, prioritize popularity. And we want to prioritize videos and popularity, right? Okay, so here we got run one lap and win 54 million views. Okay, this 70-year-old ran a 2:54 marathon, 1.3 million views. I mean, I don't think I can do that, but how I went from a 3:59 to 2:48 in the marathon. Is that really, I'm 15, let's go back here and hit my filters, popularity, videos. Let's see. Let's just hit 3 to 20 minutes. Okay. And yeah, just searching ideas, but I'm not interested in marathon. Okay, how to start marathon training in 2024, 717,000 views. I mean, that's really, really good. Half marathon training for beginners, 683,000 views. Now it's interesting because they're not really talking about a 50-year-olds. So let's put I'm 50 years old and I want to run a half marathon. Well, yeah, so that changes everything, right? So now we got beginning running at 50 from couch to 5K. That's a sponsored video, so they're paying for an ad there. This is 4,500 views. How did that get up there? Did I change the filters or relevance? Let's do popularity. And we don't want shorts. We just want videos. Okay, run one lap and win marathon speed challenge. Okay, the 70-year-old. Okay, same videos. I guess it really didn't change the dynamic very much of the search query, but the fastest way to a sub 20, and we're not looking at time. But the best tips for older runners: run injury free, run faster, 290,000 views. So the secret ultra runners, so this has nothing to do with 50 years old. Um, I mean, so maybe this is not a good video to make. Um, how about start running in your 50s? Let's see how that looks. Running over 50, 9,600 views, 215,000 views. Start running at 50, 3 tips for strength and health. Okay, the best tips for older runners, 290,000 views. So, I mean, really, 5 tips for starting running after 50, 22,000 views. So maybe this is not a good idea because I can't really see that a lot of people are interested in that. Um, so maybe we should scratch that idea and look for a new idea. And that's all in the development phase of your content. Um, if you've got an idea, drop it in the chat and we can explore that idea together. So doesn't look good. I think right now I was thinking about doing that idea, but maybe right now I would kill that idea because it won't get a lot of views. Now, if I'm not so interested in that popularity, I do see a lot of how to start running over 50, 9,000 views, tips for starting running at 50. That's got 215,000 views. So, I mean, maybe I could make that video, right? So let's just say it's looking good here and I decide to make it. So it's kind of like, boom, I've got it. Now I'm looking at the thumbnails, right? Look at these thumbnails, the most popular supplement in the gym. I don't think I would do that. This one right here, running over 50. That's a nice thumbnail, and that's probably why it's getting clicks. Tips to start running at 50. How would I do mine? Runners over 50, watch this. Maybe I would not copy, but kind of do something like this because that did get 290,000 views. And of course, but then you got to look deeper. This channel has 319,000 views. So, you know, maybe we want something that's got like high views and low subscriber count. And then we know that thumbnail really worked. You see, like this guy's got 92,000 subs and 22,000 views. That thumbnail didn't work so well. Okay, this is a good one. How often to run for older runners? 59,000 views and 1,560 subs. So, maybe I should do a thumbnail like this, kind of how often to run, right? This is a nice thumbnail right here. Finally, the truth. We studied 1,000 runners over 50. Here's why they're always tired. 114,000 views, 92,000 subs. So it got some traction. But this one's pretty cool too, but obviously didn't get that many views. Okay, so I think I'm rambling now about that, but you're getting the idea, right? You're finding that thumbnail. Then, you find, okay, you find a great one. Like, hey, this one, I like this one. Want to keep running as you age? Science says do this. And he's pointing, he's got his whole picture. I like that. So I'm gonna do something like that. And I'll probably test it with 2 other thumbnails, maybe this one, maybe like this one right here, or this one right here, right? And I'll do 3 thumbnails, test them out like that, and then I'll do my title. And I was thinking I'm 50 and I want to start running again, right? So, okay, we got that out of the way. Okay, so let me jump back for a second and talk about the development in the film production. So when you're doing development in film production, this is where you're coming up with the idea, you're writing the script, but at the same time, you're starting to do your budgets. How much is it going to cost to do this? So in this phase for YouTube, you also want to do that. You want to write out a budget list. What do I need to buy? I need to buy some new shoes for the running video. Maybe I want to buy a new outfit. Maybe I want to buy a watch so I can keep track of everything and analyze my running data, but for the video, right? So these are expenses for the video. The camera, what cameras am I going to use? Do I need to buy a GoPro, an extra GoPro that I can wear while I'm running? So all this finance stuff, you're going to write it out. Do I have to rent some gear? What lights do I need, right? You're just going to write the financing, the budget of it. So you're going to have a tight budget, exactly how much you're going to spend. I mean, if it's a bigger production like Red Bull puts some amazing stuff together. And Let's just take it. Let's take a look at what they do. And they have huge budgets. Red Bull. I mean, you can kind of see 628 million views, right? I mean, this is like, check that out. That's crazy. Wow, that is a long, just standing there doing nothing. Whoa. Wow. That was a boring video, but it got 628 million views. But then that they had to spend some money for that. They probably had to pay for the location. They probably had to pay the skateboarder, or yeah, they had. I'm sure they had to pay the skateboarder because that's probably a sponsored video. Okay, so we write the budget. Then, of course, like here, you attach your actors, right? What is Tom Cruise going to be in your movie? Is Michelle Pfeiffer going to be in your movie? You know, who's going to be in your film, and do you have to pay them? And that's got to go into the budgeting as well. But you're attaching those people while you're in the development phase. So I'm sure this Red Bull short right here, they knew that this skateboarder, they attached this skateboarder to that project and they paid him. Now, of course, Red Bull works a little bit differently. I'm sure that this skateboarder went to Red Bull and kind of said, "Hey, you want to be my sponsor?" And then Red Bull paid them. But we're not looking at that kind of a YouTuber. We're looking at you as a business. How much money are you going to spend on your video? Write it out. Make that list. Know exactly where your money's going to go. Okay, so we've got. Let's review for a second. You've got your, and let's stop the screen share. Stop screen sharing so you can see me in full screen. So you're going to come up with your idea. You're going to research that idea. And you're going to find out, is that idea going to get views? Do people want to watch this? And then you're going to figure out, preliminary locations, like if this is going to be like a collaboration with a hotel, you have to know, you have to talk to them ahead of time. So that's in the development phase. You're talking to the hotel and you're saying, "Hey, what do you think about this idea? I would love to film this in your hotel lobby. We're going to get a bunch of views, and it's going to promote your hotel too." So you're kind of ironing out those details of what's going to make the video pop and incredible. Who's going to be in your video? Make sure that you have, like, let's say, for example, I get Tom Cruise in my video. Make sure you have a contract with him. That's the development phase, right? You attach him to the script. That's what it's called in the filmmaking world. You attach an A-list actor to your script, means that the chances of it getting produced increased substantially. Like if you got Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise agrees to be in your film, it's going to be easier to make that film, and it's going to be easier to make money with that film. So same thing with YouTube. If you're going to have an actor in your YouTube video, there's a lot of actors nowadays that are getting attached to YouTube videos. It's going to get a lot of views. I mean, let's see, who was it? Let's see, let's think. I just recently saw, I think it's Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is coming out a lot on YouTube, and but in other YouTube videos, right? I can't remember. I saw him the other day in a video. Of course, he's in a lot of shorts. But if you get him in your video, oh, it's going to make it pop for sure. Okay, so that's the development phase. If you guys have any questions so far, please drop them in the chat. And oh, I didn't share my screen. That's right. I meant to share my screen because we were looking at the Ryan Reynolds thing, and you can kind of see, like, okay, yeah, like this is a sponsored video. It looks like more like a trailer, a movie trailer. But even it looks like Ryan Reynolds has his own YouTube channel, and I think this is like Mint Mobile stuff. But he gets other A-list actors on his YouTube channel. Yeah, this is definitely Mint Mobile stuff because he owns Mint Mobile, if you guys didn't know that. Okay, so I hope you guys are getting a better understanding of the development phase. Remember, we've got those 6 phases. We've got the development, pre-production, post-production, pre-production, production, post-production, exhibition, and distribution are those 6 phases that you want to that'll help guide you in creating great content. Again, today, The development phase is you are going to get that script written. You are going to figure out what's the title of your YouTube video. You're going to figure out what is the thumbnail of that YouTube video before you go into pre-production and production. You're going to figure out who's going to be in your video. Is it just me? Am I the only one that's going to be in my video? Then I know that. But if, let's say, I want to get extra views or I want to bring in another audience, and if I can get Tom Cruise in my video, Mr. Beast in my video, and there's a lot of YouTubers that try really hard to get these famous people in their video because that's going to bring them a lot more views. Now, what you got to think about is who's your target audience. If Mr. Beast is generally 13 to 14-year-olds watch his videos, and you want to get Mr. Beast in your video, and your target market is 50 to 60-year-olds, that's not going to work, right? So you always want to think about that. Who is, who do I follow? Like, I'm 50. If my target audience is 50-year-olds, I'm 50. Who is it that I watch most? I mean, I enjoy watching Casey Neistat, but I don't think his audience is the same as my audience. Maybe it is. Do you guys know who Casey Neistat is? I mean, whenever I talk to people and ask them, hey, do you know who Casey Neistat is? They don't know. I'm kind of surprised because he's got a lot of viewers. He's got a lot of, let's check it out. I'm just curious. I'm just going off on a tangent here. Casey Neistat, share your screen. Because we're wrapping up right now, but he has 12 million subscribers. And I wonder if we could figure out, let's share this tab instead. Let's see if it'll flip. Yeah. This is on ChatGPT. And let's just see, let's see if, who is Casey Neistat's audience? Let's see if ChatGPT knows. I mean, maybe they can kind of give me an idea. I'm just curious. We're going off on a little tangent here. We're wrapping up right now. And I'm going to do answer now because it's like taking time for some reason. Let's answer now. All right, let's check it out. Creators, his longer and more useful. Okay, creators, entrepreneurs, and builders. Just ship it. Urban design-minded humans. So there we go. Here we go. 20s to 40s, mostly male, right? So that kind of tells you who is audience. So if your ideal customer is 35 years old and you get Casey Neistat in your film, you're going to do well. I mean, it's because he will attract more views to your video. So then you would attach him in the development phase. You'd call him up and say, hey, Casey, I'm making this video. Can you please be in it? I've got this great idea and it's going to be fun. And then he says yes, and then boom. So then you write the script. So you're also getting this. So let's review again because I'm getting lost. Titles, thumbnails, script. Attach your main actors. Attach any actors, anybody, any location as well. Like, is this going to be in Dubai? Figure that out. Are you going to go fly to Dubai and film this in Dubai? That's all figured out in the development phase before you move into the pre-production phase. Okay. And next week, we'll be talking about the pre-production phase, okay? So stay tuned. Remember, subscribe to my channel. And let's stop the screen sharing so we'll go full screen. Subscribe to my channel. Please hit that like button. And if you or your company is interested in doing YouTube videos, give me a call. I'll give you a free 30-minute strategy session. We can go over, what kind of videos will help your company. And then we can talk about maybe I can produce those videos for you and help you get those done. That's my company name is Content Guaranteed. So I make sure that those videos get done, scheduled, and put up on YouTube. And I really enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next one.